वीरावनचारि जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गो वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी तीरा जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरावनचारि तीरावनचारि जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे राम हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे राम हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 राम हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 हे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण जय राधा विनोद राधे जय राधा विनोद जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा सुभद्रमयि जय सुदर्शना जय गौर सुंदर जय नित्यानंद नटवर गौर सुंदर जय नित्यानंद नटवर गौर सुंदर जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल जय ओम विष्णुपाद परिव्रजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर डिवाइन रेस्ट अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की जय जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर डिवाइन रेस्ट भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर को स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की जय गौर किशोर दास श्री बाबा जी महाराज श्री भक्ति ठाकुर जगन्नाथ जी बाबा जी महाराज की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय नामाचार्य श्री हरदास ठाकुर की जय प्रेम से बोलो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय मायापुर नवदीप धाम की जय पुरुषोत्तम श्री क्षेत्र जगन्नाथ पुरी धाम की जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम गुरुनाथ गिरि गोवर्धन की जय गंगा माई की जय, यमुना माई की जय, भक्ति देवी की जय, तुलसी महारानी की जय, कलियो पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद ट्रांसेंडेंट बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरे। All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो। ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादां सहगणललिता श्रीराधान्वितांश्च नमः। ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमः। ॐ हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मूकं करोति वाचा गुलंगाय दिनिदत्पातं श्री गुरु परमानंद माधव श्री चैतन्य। हरे कृष्णा। First of all, I'd like to express my deep gratitude to His Grace, Swayam Prakash Prabhu, who I wouldn't say put me in a spot, but he has given me this seva. And Prabhuji said, we can, since it's Janmashtami, so we can discuss on Krishna Lila, pastimes of Krishna. And he himself, he gave me some topics. So I kind of, I try to hear from seniors, and I try to present in this August assembly here. And any mistakes, you are feel free to chastise me and point out the mistakes that I fall shortfalls that I have. But I would speak the glories of Krishna and his devotees, primarily to purify myself and as a service to all of you. So I hope I please all of you by this presentation. There are two aspects to today's presentation. There are multiple shlokas. I've requested Prabhuji to, as I just call out the shlokas, we can display it out here if possible. So we will discuss from a little bit from Canto 9, and then we'll touch upon Canto 10, especially Chapter 11. There are beautiful pastimes in Chapter 11. And Canto 9, because Canto 9, especially the last section, the last chapter, Chapter 24, is actually a transition. We all know, we have heard that we shouldn't be directly going to Canto 10, right? We have heard that we directly can't our maturity is not so enough to understand the beautiful pastimes of from 10th canto directly if we go into 10th canto, because there are multiple Bhagavatam sessions that are happening which directly get into Ras Lila. So for us, Acharyas have told us that it is not good to get directly to 10th canto, but go very systematically from canto 1 till canto 9. And canto 9 has a wonderful transition from all those nourishment that we have received in till canto 9. With that maturity and with that consciousness, we can approach canto 10 with all those pastimes that the Krishna has performed right in his childhood to to the end, right? So we will go into canto 9, chapter 24, shlokas 61 to 67. Especially we'll start with 61. Kalau janisya mananan dukkha shoka tamonudham anugrahaya bhaktanam supunyam vyatanodhyashaha. Anybody wants to repeat? Kalau janisya mananam dukkha shoka tamonudham anugrahaya bhaktanam supunyam vyatanodhyashaha. So anybody wants to repeat? Kalau janisya manana dukkha shoka tamonudam anugrahaya bhaktanam supunyam vyatanodhyashaha. So kalau janisya manana, Krishna, it's a very wonderful shloka. I'll read the translation, then we'll go the line. So the translation by Srila Prabhupada, all glory to Srila Prabhupada, to show causeless mercy to the devotees who would take birth in the future in this age of Kali, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna acted in such a way that simply by remembering him, one will be freed from all the lamentation and unhappiness of material existence. In other words, he acted so that all future devotees, by accepting the instructions of Krishna consciousness stated in Bhagavad Gita, could be relieved from the pangs of material existence. So, Kalo Janisya Manana, out of concern for those who would be born in Kali Yuga. Okay. And Dukkha Shoka Tamonudam, to destroy the distress and lamentations caused by ignorance, which is the primary byproduct of this material world. Anugrahaya Bhaktana, to show his causeless mercy on devotees in Kali Yuga. What did Krishna did? Supunyam Vyatanodhyashaha, Lord Krishna has spread his spotless glories. See how Krishna, out of concern, has in this Kali Yuga, he knew that Kali Yuga people would be well occupied in resolving the miseries. They will have no other work but rather than pondering and concentrating all the miseries and all the anxieties. So what he has done is, to show his causeless mercy and devotees in Kali Yuga, Lord Krishna spread his spotless glories. What do we have to do? We have to just hear those glories. Okay? And the next sloka, text 62, a very beautiful sloka. Krishna arranged in 61 his spotless glories, and in 62 goes as follows: Yasmin Satkarna Piyushe Yashas Tirthavare Sakrit Shrotran Anjaler Upasprishya Dhunute Karma Vasanam. Yasmin Satkarna Piyushe Yashas Tirthavare Sakrit Shrotran Anjaler Upasprishya Dhunute Karma Vasanam. Yasmin Satkarana Piyushe, Krishna's topics, Krishna's glories and the pastimes are nectar for the ears of the devotees. Yashas tirthavare sakrit. Hearing them once to be in the best is to be in the best of the holy places. So, Yasmin Sat Krishna Piyushe, topics are the nectars, and wherever the such topics of Krishna's glories are narrated or chanted, they are the best of the holy places. Yashas Tirtha Vare Sakrit. And now what we have to do? Shrotra Anjali. You know what is an Anjali is, like we have this cupped hands. Okay. So what here Shukadeva Goswami is saying, we just have to do this. The Shrotra means the ears. We have to hear in the form of accept that the hearing through the ears in the form of Anjali. We have to collect that. Shrotra Anjalair Upasprishya. One who with ears like cupped hand drinks them once. What happens? Dhunute. Dhunute means washing. Dhona. Hindi mein dhona we say. Dhunute karma vasanam. What it cleans? Dhunute karma vasanam is at once freed from all material desires and karma. So our task is only to hear the glories. We don't have to wash ourselves, all the karma and vasana. We just have to hear the glories of Krishna's spotless glories and Krishna's pastimes. The dhunute work is already done, it's getting done. Now, very interesting piece. So 61 and 62, Sukadeva Goswami is telling us that what we should do, what Krishna is arranged in Kali Yuga. From 63 to 67, if you see the shlokas, Shukadeva Goswami did a fast forward. 63 to 67, Shukadeva Goswami narrated the entire Krishna's Balya Lila and everything in 4 slokas. Now, Parikshit Maharaj, who was hearing this, was put in a spot. He says, Shukadeva Goswami, very often he has done this testing to Parikshit Maharaj to test whether his eagerness to hearing is still there. And we all know how many days Srimad Bhagavatam was spoken. Until this point, till 9th canto, do we know how many days have passed? Almost 3.5 to 4 days. Now, Shukadeva Goswami is testing Parikshit Maharaj, but that's now, and this hearing, we all know how it has happened. It's not that, that break liya, like, bio break, or there is nothing like that. Not a break for Prashadam also. Continuous, not a break for sleeping also. It was a continuous narration for all these 3.5, 4 days, or maybe 5 days, as somebody said. So, till this point, at this point also, Shukadeva Goswami is testing. What he did is he did a fast forward of the entire pastime from 60 to 67. Shukadeva Goswami, Parikshit Maharaj understood that Shukadeva Goswami is testing him. Now, from 10th canto onwards, Parikshit Maharaj is requesting Shukadeva Goswami. We can go to 10.1.4. It's a very beautiful shloka. We have it. Yeah. We all can chant. Nivrittatarshir upagiyamanad bhava aushadak chotra manobhiramad ka uttama shloka gunanuvadat puman virajeta vina pashugnat Nivrittatarshir upagiyamanad भवाौषधक्षोत्र मनोभिरामाद का उत्तम श्लोक गुणानुवादात पुमान विरज्येत विना पशुघ्नात. Anybody wants to repeat the shloka? Nivrittatarshir upagiyamana. निवृत्ततर्षैरुपगीयमानात् भवौषधक्षोत्रमनोभिरामात् का उत्तमश्लोकगुणानुवागात् पुमान् विरजेत विना पशुघ्नात्. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Glorification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is performed in the parampara system. That is, it is conveyed from the spiritual master to disciple. Such glorification is relished by those no longer interested in the false, temporary glorification of this cosmic manifestation. Descriptions of the Lord are the right medicine for the conditioned soul undergoing repeated birth and death. Therefore, who will cease hearing such glorification of the Lord except a butcher, or therefore, who will cease hearing such glorification of the Lord except a butcher or one who is killing his own self? It is very important the way we read this line. Therefore, who will cease hearing such glorification? That is how it is. Otherwise, if you read, therefore, who will cease hearing such glorification except a butcher or one? It doesn't bring out the actual meaning what Prabhupada wants the translation for us to understand in the translation. So here, Parikshit Maharaj is requesting Shukadeva Goswami, say, do not complete the glorification or the wonderful pastimes of the Lord, which is a medicine for the entire Kali Yuga, in a very short summary. Please elaborate. Please mention all the details of the Lord's pastimes, right from childhood to the Paugand and until the end. So please mention all these in details. That what Parikshit Maharaj is requesting. And Shukadeva Goswami, as obviously was testing, and to his wonderful disciple who has this eagerness to hear, he obliged, and then we had the entire 10th canto, the wonderful pastimes of Krishna in all the in the childhood and all other leaders, right? I had this eagerness of hearing. I had heard from Gaurang Prabhu was mentioning in the class that once Maharaj was giving class, and it was almost 2 or 3 hours had almost, it was 12:30, and prasadam was due. So there were some devotees who were looking behind. They knew where the prasadam would start, and the devotees slowly, some of those devotees were really hungry, slowly started moving towards that area, because we know usually where the prasadam is served. So they slowly started moving towards that area, and not actually sitting where the place starts, but somewhere nearby. And suddenly around 12:30, Maharaj asked, "Shall we continue the class?" And obviously there is no other choice, but everyone said Hari Bol. And Gaurang Prabhu was saying, I was looking at those devotees, because by the time Maharaj said, almost 100, 200 devotees are already gathered around that Prasadam line. And Gaurang Prabhu said, he slowly looked at the devotees and they also said, Hari Bol. They also said Hari Bol. And then the class went on for 2:30, till 2:30 again. And then again Maharaj asked, shall we continue the class? And again there was a loud Hari Bol. Class ended at 4 o'clock that day. So the eagerness is there. Obviously, then one Gaurang Prabhu also was mentioning that one brahmachari tried doing that in one of his classes. Shall we continue? He said, Prabhuji, no more. We have to have breakfast prasadam there. So we can't. So basically, the point is, hearing or the eagerness can't be faked. Can't be faked. It has to. I mean, we have to develop that. Obviously, it comes gradually. We have to build that eagerness and laulium to hear. But Parikshit Maharaj has that example. I mean, his example is very, and we can't even think of to that particular level. So Sukadeva Goswami obliged Parikshit Maharaj, and then he started the 10th canto. Today, there's one more point where Krishna mentions about the importance of hearing the glories. We all know the pastimes of Brahman Patnis. We all know the pastimes of Brahman, where Krishna requested Narad Muni to go and in a request for prasadam, the devotees to go and bring prasadam for them. The yajna was happening. The Brahmanas did not oblige. They said, no, we don't think he needs anything. But the Brahmana Patnis, they gave away all the prasadam, all whatever is there, and they themselves went. So this particular shloka, if you can just put that on the screen. 10:23:33. It's a very wonderful shloka where, 10:23:33, where the shloka goes as Shravana Darshana Dhyanan Mai Bhava Anukirtanat Na Tatha Sannikarshena Pratiyata Tato Grihan. It is by hearing about me, seeing my deity form, meditating upon me, and chanting my names and glories that love for me develops, not by physical proximity. Therefore, please go back to your homes. We all know when Brahman Patnis were asked that how did you uh, gain so much laulyam to Krishna? They said that they heard the pastimes and glories which were happening through those devotees who were passing by through their village. They heard from the devotees. Just by hearing that glories, not even seeing Krishna, just by hearing the glories, the Brahman Patnis developed that loyalty and eagerness to serve Krishna. And when they met Krishna, Krishna is now telling them again the same point that please, because they were little worried about going back to their husbands. Okay, so Krishna is telling here that please go back because hearing about me is more important than physical proximity. So with these points, we will try to hear and try to engross ourselves in the glories of and the pastimes of Krishna, especially from chapter 11. So there are few pastimes in chapter 11. I'll just summarize initially. So we have the first pastime is of the fruit vendor, the Mataji who came to give from fruits to Krishna. The second pastime is where Mother Rohini is going to call Krishna and Balram for their lunch, and then Mother Yashoda also tries. And the third pastime is all the Gopas, elderly Gopas, meeting to decide to have a shift of location. That's the third pastime. Fourth and the fifth, as usual, are the demons. Okay, we have Vatsasura and Bakasura. So these 5 pastimes are there in chapter, very beautiful pastimes. We will try to meditate on these pastimes and see what we can understand. I just heard these pastimes from my Shiksha Guru Gaurang Darshan Prabhu, and we'll try to present and see if we can derive some beautiful hearings and lessons from these. So we'll have to go to chapter 11, probably text 10. त्रिनिः भोः फलनिति श्रुत्वा सत्वरमच्युतः फलार्थी धन्यम् आदाय यायौ सर्वफलप्रदः. Once a woman selling fruit was calling, "O inhabitants of Rajabhumi, if you want to purchase some fruits, come here." Upon hearing this, Krishna immediately took some grains and went to barter as if he needed some fruits. A beautiful translation, which Prabhupada, if you just hear the translation itself, so many questions will come up. Right? And Krishna's glories, qualities obviously come out of it. Now, there were these aborigines, we call them tribals also, who were there during those times. And their system, nowadays, fruits and all vegetables are sold for money, for their living. But those days, fruits were sold to get some grains, and that was called as barter system. So such a fruit vendor, Mataji, an elderly lady, she's going around Gokul Mahavan and asking the Vasis over there that whether somebody wants fruits. And it is also mentioned, Shrutva Satvaram Achyutaha. Who's Achyutaha? Krishna. Shrutva Satvaram. So he heard from this calling from the fruit vendor, and he wanted fruits. Now, Krishna, there are two very key words in this: Phala Arthi and Phala Pradaha. Which of these is Krishna first? Phala Pradaha. So Krishna is Phala Pradaha, the fruit giver, the result giver, and not Phala Arthi. But here Krishna exchanges roles and he becomes a Phala Arthi. As if, as Prabhupada writes it, as if he needed some fruits. So Krishna becomes a Phalarthi, and what he does, it was a barter system. So in exchange of fruits, we have to give some grains. They are expecting some grains for their livelihood. So Krishna, in his small hands, very tiny hands, collects some grains, and his hearing also, he wants to ensure that he doesn't miss the fruit vendor. Now, doesn't miss the fruit vendor means doesn't miss giving his mercy to her. And that's how we have to understand. Not like doesn't miss getting the fruits. So he is running with the grains in his hand. And obviously what is happening in that small hands, how many grains can fit in? The grains are all falling down, but still is running so that he doesn't miss the fruit vendor. He runs and he stands in front of the fruit vendor. When the fruit vendor sees the charming face, the beautiful face and the charming, beautiful smile of Krishna, she was flat. She could not think of anything else. Now, this fruit vendor had come here to give some fruits in exchange of grains. She did not even consider, because she gave whatever fruit she had as a service in Krishna's hands in exchange of whatever grains he had in the basket. Okay. So Krishna, who is a Sarva Phalapradaha, he bestows the fruits of all our endeavors. That is when we put our efforts, who gives us a result. This Krishna, who sanctions the fruits of our efforts, becomes a Phala Arthi. He wants that fruits. Okay. Now, the next shloka is very beautiful. Text 11. Phala Vikriyani Tasya Chutadhanya Karadvayam Phalayat Apurayad Ratnahi Phala Bhandam Apuricha Phala Vikrayani Tasya Chutadhanya Karadvayam Phalayat Apurayat Ratnai Phala Bhandam Apuricha. So this lady, this fruit vendor, so translation of Prabhupada, while Krishna was going to the fruit vendor very hastily, most of the grains he was holding fell. Nonetheless, the fruit vendor filled Krishna's hands with fruits, and her fruit basket was immediately filled with jewels and gold. So now the lady was not expecting any of this. She was just charmed by the beautiful smile and the beautiful personality of Krishna. So it did not matter for her what Krishna has placed in the basket. Okay. So what happened was, as soon as she saw Krishna and the beautiful, charming smile of Krishna, she developed a spontaneous attraction. Okay. So when our service is done without any motivation, such kind of service is very pleasing to Krishna. Okay, it's Janmashtami, and Janmashtami, there is no dearth of services. There is no dearth of services. Nobody comes to us and saying, Prabhuji, mere paas service nahi hai. This service, which is done unmotivated, especially on Janmashtami. Now, this fruit vendor was doing this service on a daily basis. But for us, we all have an opportunity of doing services daily. But especially on Janmashtami, which is the appearance of Krishna, a service which is done in an unmotivated way, without expecting any results, any fruits, Krishna will be pleased. And as a Phala Pradaha, he will provide us all the necessary based on our capacity, based on how much we desire and deserve, Krishna will provide the results of our unmotivated service. So, Bhakti Yoga to Krishna. We all know this shloka 1 to 6, which is the shloka. Sabai pumsam paro dharma yatho bhaktir adhokshaje ahetuki apratiyata yayatma suprasidate. So Bhakti Yoga, when is performed unmotivated and uninterrupted, tainted without expectations, that will see when a service, if you do a service expecting a result, there will be no satisfaction. But a service, when it is done without expectations, without expectation of the fruit, that will satisfy. The fruits Krishna will take care. So we need not worry about what are the, if I do this seva, obviously we do some seva to please our superiors and our seniors, definitely, for our Guru and Gauranga, we do that. That is there. But even a tinge of expectation is there, that particular service which you render will never satisfy us. Okay. So, I mean, it doesn't mean that then Prabhuji, if I do this seva, yes, I do have some expectations. Some expectations are there. Does that mean that I will not get any benefits? There will be benefits. The benefits, Krishna will ensure that a purification happens. So any service done, the ultimate goal of a service is purification. So even if it is done with some expectations, Krishna ultimately will ensure that a purification will follow. That could be any ways. So, and for that matter, what to speak of a devotee who does a service without any expectations. So Krishna, if he does purification, if we do a service with expectation, what to say if a service is done selflessly? Okay. So ultimately, the goal of devotee while doing service is pleasure of Krishna. Okay. It's not that what I will get from it. So that is not the expectation. Now here, the fruit vendor did the service without any expectations, but what she got in return, we all know, you can understand. So Krishna may reciprocate in the form of material benefits and spiritual also, okay, for the services rendered. However, a devotee is happy if Krishna is happy. Now, how, you might say, how do we know whether Krishna is happy? Obviously, on the altar, Krishna has always a smiling face. But for us, the devotee who gives a service, if the devotee is pleased, believe me, Krishna is pleased. Okay. You can go and stand in front of Krishna, and Krishna, I did this service, and Krishna is always smiling. Obviously, we feel happy about it. If your seniors are happy about the services that you have performed, that means that Krishna is happy with all of us. Yeah. So it's the attitude of the service and not the magnitude of the service. See, the attitude of the service, as I said earlier, the way the service is performed, unmotivated and uninterrupted, that will please you more, that will satisfy you more, rather than, yes, the magnitude is also important, because there are devotees who do, hire many projects and all. But if the attitude is lacking, there is no satisfaction. Okay. So this particular pastime, we can summarize the fruit vendor pastime in the form that services has to be rendered unmotivated, uninterrupted, without expectation of any result. Attitude of a service is more important than the magnitude. So this was the first pastime. And in that, there's text 20. If you go to text 20, so what happens was, Krishna and Balaram, whenever they go out to play, and they are very small, I think they are somewhere around, they're yet to near around 3 years, somewhere little less than 3 years. So whenever Krishna and Balaram used to go out to play, they used to forget having lunch. So now somebody has to go and call them. So this time, Mother Yashoda tells Mother Rohini that, why don't you go and call Krishna and Balaram, come and have lunch. I have to give them bath. So Mother Rohini says okay, because Mother Yashoda has told her to do that seva. So Mother Rohini goes and from a far distance, She's calling Krishna, Balram, come over. Mother Yashoda is calling, please come over to have bath. Please come over to have lunch. But they don't even, turn around and see Mother Rohini. They just don't bother. They just keep on playing. Now, Mother Rohini gives up. What she does, she goes back to Mother Yashoda. And she tells Mother Yashoda, I cannot deal with these two kids. Why don't you go and call? Now, affection of Mother Rohini and Mother Yashoda is same. But Mother Yashoda's Vatsalya Bhav, the maternal affection of Mother Yashoda is definitely higher than Mother Rohini. Now, Mother Yashoda goes and calls Krishna and Balaram. Same thing happens. She calls, they don't even bother to look at them. But now what Mother Yashoda does is, she goes and holds their hands and drags them. And then she brings them home, gives them bath, and gives them lunch. So here, we are talking about Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whom we have to surrender. And what he is doing is, he is surrendering to his mother. Mother Yashoda literally holds Krishna and Balaram with her hands, and they just surrender themselves to Mother Yashoda and just go behind them. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is to whom expectation is that we have to surrender. He surrenders to the love and affection of his devotees. This is one of the pastime which has happened when Mother Yashoda is trying to call Krishna. Now, the daily routine we have seen till this point, we have had many demons also coming to Vrindavan. Which was the first demon who had come? Putana had come when Krishna was very small. Okay, Krishna delivered Putana. Any other demon that had come? The cart demon was there. Okay, the second demon. So all the Brajavasis now call a meeting, Ishta Goshti. They call a meeting, and what is this meeting for? That every day we have to go through disturbances. And what are these disturbances? In the form of demons. Demons who have come to attack Krishna. So their kind of anxiety or worry is that it's not there we are getting disturbed. It's the point that Krishna is being attacked. So all of them had one common goal and one common purpose, that Krishna has to be saved from these demons. Okay, so that is why they have this meeting. Agenda of the meeting is only one. We have to shift from here. So now they all got together to decide upon a favorable location. So right now they are in Gokul Mahavan. They decide to go to Vrindavan. Okay, and the meeting, all this elderly Gopas used to come together. Whatever the elderly Gopas decide in the meeting, for the others it was Brahma Vakya. They did not budge because the intent was common. The goal was common. The goal was Krishna. The center was Krishna. Okay, so with that, they all unanimously decide that let us shift from Gokul Mahavan and to Vrindavan. Now, the important point, if you read the shlokas before this, as soon as this decision was made, it was immediately implemented. There was no delay. So any important decisions made by our seniors, definitely one, this is for our benefit. Second, it has to be implemented immediately. Action has to be taken immediately. Okay, that is how you serve our seniors also, Vaishnavas, elderly Vaishnavas. So in this case, so even there was one other thing. So Shatakasura was there. There was another thing which had happened. The Yamal Arjuna trees. That pastime also had happened before that. So they were all worried that big two Yamal Arjuna trees, they could have fallen on Krishna. So that was also one of the worries. Okay. So now they're thinking like, no, yeah, looks like some demons or ghosts are creating disturbances. Let us shift. So that's how they decide to shift. Okay. Now, can we go to text 21, Prabhu? Shri Shuka Uvacha Gopavriddha Mahodpatan Anubhuya Brahadvane Nandadaya Samagamya Vrajakaryam Amantrayan. So, Gopavriddha. So, all these disturbances, all these distresses, all these anxieties, all these calamities, we also as devotees, we also go through all this in in whatever proportion might be different for each one of us, but for us being in this material which is dukhalayam ashashvatam, each one of us has to go through some other the calamities. uh, you know other day, I don't know, somebody had shared a video saying some family went through a terrible distress where their child died. And you know how the child died? A dog fell off from the second floor on the child, and the child died. Now, this kind of a distress, such people are in this material world is happening. Okay, one of the children died by the child was playing near the gate of the door, and the gate fell off. The huge iron gate fell off on the spot. The child is so dukhalam ashashvatam. Even then, people don't understand. Uh, a huge 2 year corona period has gone by, but now it is, for many people, it is business as usual. They still don't understand the distressful and the anxiety-full and the quarrelsome nature of this particular material world. Still, they are deep in their dreams. But for devotees, we very well understand, because we hear Srimad Bhagavatam every day. We read Srimad Bhagavatam every day. We hear Katha for every day. Okay, that is how basically Krishna Katha or Srimad Bhagavatam Katha are reminders for us that yes, it is Dukhalayam Ashashvatam. Okay, so whatever that, despite the disturbances or anxieties a devotee goes through, a devotee will never leave the association of Krishna or his devotees. And that is the only pivot that we have. That is the only center that we have which holds us and keeps us always reminded and alert that this is Dukhalayam Ashashvatam. Whatever the distress be, yes, it will go off one day, but our seva, our service, our association with devotees should continue. It's very important. Okay. So finally, a decision was made that yes, we will move to Vrindavan, and immediately, as I said, it was implemented without any delay. Now, if you go to text 27, text 27 also, it says, Yavad outpatiko rishto vrajam nabhibhavet itaha tavad balan upadaya yasyamo anyatra sanugaha. All these incidents are being caused by some unknown demon. Before he comes here to create another disturbance, it is our duty to go somewhere else with the boys until there are no more disturbances. Now, please remember this particular line. It is our duty to go somewhere else with the boys until there are no more disturbances. Now, a question might arise, even in Gokul Mahavan, there are disturbances. Even in the presence of Krishna, there are disturbances. What is our situation? Okay. When Krishna was present, what they did was they always looked up to Krishna. Krishna, in all the earlier shlokas, he has mentioned that physical proximity is not important. I am there in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam. So, what is our duty? Calamities, disturbance, distresses will be there. Our duty is to take shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam. I may tell this what I've read and heard, but I mean, even for me, I have to ensure that I take full shelter of devil dependence of Srimad Bhagavatam. But it is our only duty. This Srimad Bhagavatam, and many of us, I'm pretty sure we have experiences that whenever there is an issue, whenever there is a disturbance, if you open up Srimad Bhagavatam or you hear a class from your Guru Maharaj or you whoever spiritual master you're aspiring for, isn't it that you have got your answer? Somehow the other, devotees would have reciprocated. In somehow the other, you would have got your answers from Srimad Bhagavatam. Such beautiful this particular scripture is. So here, it is mentioned, it is our duty to go somewhere else with the boys until there are no more disturbances. We will come to the next part of Vrindavan where there were disturbances. Okay. So in the translation, in the purport, Prabhupada writes, Upananda suggested, Upananda is one of the brothers of Nanda Maharaj. So Upananda suggested, by the mercy of Lord Vishnu, Krishna has always been saved from so many dangerous incidents. Now, for them, Krishna is, somebody who is part of them. So that is how for them Krishna is. That's Vatsalya Madhurya Bhav is there. So for them, they're saying Krishna has always been saved from so many dangerous incidents. Now, let us leave this place and go someplace where we may worship Lord Vishnu undisturbed before there is another cause of death from some demon who may attack us. Prabhupada writes, a devotee desires only that he may execute devotional service undisturbed. Actually, we see, however, that even during the presence of Krishna, when Nanda Maharaj and other coward men had the Supreme Personality of Godhead in their presence, there were disturbances. Of course, in every case, Krishna came out victorious. The instruction we may derive from this is that we should not be disturbed by so-called disturbances. Is it possible? It is possible only if you take shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam. Only if you take shelter of these pastimes that have happened. Only then it is possible. Disturbance may disturb you, but it should not disturb your attitude to do service. That should not be disturbed. Then only that connection, that pivot is maintained. So, Prabhupada, there have been so many disturbances to our Krishna consciousness movement. Now, Prabhupada is giving an example here. There have been so many disturbances to our Krishna conscious movement, but we cannot give up our forward march. On the contrary, people are receiving this movement very, very enthusiastically all over the world, and they are purchasing literature about Krishna consciousness with redoubled energy. I mean, what beautiful purpose Srila Prabhupada is giving here. Such hope-giving statements Prabhupada is giving here. Thus, there are both encouragements and disturbances. This was so even in Krishna's times. I mean, this purport itself gives, such a hope-giving statement for us that yes, we have to expect disturbances and encouragements also. Now, this encouragements will happen only if you are connected and associated with the devotees, only if you continue your services, only if you have your connection well with Srimad Bhagavatam, only if you are connected with your spiritual master in terms of hearing his classes, his kathas, connecting with your Shiksha Gurus, connecting with your counselors, connecting with your devotee caregivers or all those who are near and dear to you. Only then this encouragements will happen. If I say you have a disturbance and you go to some other counselor outside, will you get the same kind of guidance that is unexpected from a devotee? Believe me, it will be not. It will enthuse you, it will give you some moral support, but it will be temporary. The only permanent support permanent encouragement is only with Srimad Bhagavata. Only you are hearing the glories and the pastime of Krishna and his devotees. That's the only way out. That is why Prabhupada is saying encouragements and disturbance will both be there. This was so even in Krishna's time. So we will still have that. Prabhupada clearly mentions here, though there were disturbances in Krishna consciousness movement, but what they did was they continued their forward march. Yeah. So for us, we just have to be on board to not get off the bus. Okay, so this wonderful pastime of relocation from Gokul Mahavan to Vrindavan and abiding by the decisions that elderly Gopas had taken. For us, it mentions and why they had done, because there were distresses. So for us, as a lesson, a learning is, even if there are disturbances, there will be encouragements also. Okay. So the last two pastimes that we have here is the calf demon, Vatsasura. So Krishna and Balram were almost about 3.5 years now. And the Gopas, the elderly Gopas, they all decided, let us give them opportunity to take the calves. Okay. So they are young enough to take care of the calves. And they were entrusted the calves. And obviously, Krishna and Balram, they very enthusiastically took charge of the calves. Now, while they had taken the calves outside, one day Krishna observed there was little difference in one of the calf. And who was that? Vatsasura. Krishna immediately identified and told Balramji, Tauji, there is a demon in our midst. There is a calf demon named Vatsasura. So what Krishna did, slowly went behind and took hold of his legs and twirled him and pushed and then just threw him up. And he fell on top of a kapita tree. I'm not sure what that fruit is now. Prabhupada does mention somewhere in chapter 58 in Krishna book. Kapita tree is a sweet, pulpy fruit. And as per the pastime of Dhenukasura also, all the kapita fruits fell down. And obviously, what would the Gopas do? They all went and enjoyed this kapita fruit, while the Vatsasura demon was liberated because the light came from them and entered Krishna. Okay. Now, Vatsasura in his past was basically a demon named Pramila. His father's name was the Muru demon. And what happened was all this demon entered Vashishta Muni's hermitage. Okay, and Vashishta Muni had a cow called as Nandini, and this cow similar to the Kamadhenu. Now this Pramila demon wanted to enjoy the cow, wanted possession of that cow Nandini, and what he did was he took the form of a Brahmana and approached Vashishta Muni. They said, my dear sage, I would like to have this cow Nandini from you. Now Nandini identified that this is a demon in the form of a sage. As soon as Nandini, so as soon as she identified, she immediately told Vashishtha that, my dear sage, this is not a Brahmana. He is a demon, Pramila, in the disguise of a sage. And when the demon came to know that this Nandini cow is something very different, he was humbled also, and he came to know the glories of that Nandini cow. Now, what happened was Nandini cursed the demon Pramila. And what she cursed, that you came in the form of a Brahmana, you came in the front of Vashishta Muni and wanted to enjoy me, so you will take a form of a calf demon. That is in the form of calf Vatsasura. This is the curse that she gave. But Pramila demon, when he repented that I did a mistake. So please forgive me. So she said, yes, because you offended a Brahmana, you will not, the curse will still stay, but in Dwapariga, the Lord himself will liberate you. So that is how Vatsasura came in the form of a calf demon and got liberated by Krishna. Krishna himself liberated him. Now, Vatsasura, since it was a calf demon, so Vatsasura represents basically a childish mentality, but with which gives rise, this childish mentality, which gives rise to that gives rise to greed and wickedness and other mischiefs also, because he came to do some mischief here. He wickedly and cunningly entered into the group of the herd of cows. So Vatsasura demon represents a childish mentality which gives rise to greed or wickedness or cunningness. Okay. Now, the other lesson in this, now Krishna kills demon also. Okay, and as we said, we saw in the past time, as soon as he threw the calf demon onto that Kapita tree, what happened was a lot of Kapita sweet fruits fell down. So Krishna, along with his greatness of killing demons, also showed sweetness. Sweetness in the form of, giving pleasure to his gopas. So Krishna simultaneously shows greatness and also sweetness. Okay, this is the wonderful quality that Krishna displays, along with this grandeur and magnanimity, if you may call it, that sweetness that he displays. Okay, and also in every pastime we can see this, because every pastime, any pastime you take, he has done that pastime. I mean, obviously we know what is the main purpose of Krishna coming to this planet. Paritranaya sadhuna vinashaya dushkritam. So the demons also were killed or liberated. At the same time, the gopas also got pleasure and sweetness. Okay. Now the question arises: was the decision taken by Nanda Maharaj and the elderly gopas to shift, to relocate from Gokul Mahavan to Vrindavan, was it wrong? Was it wrong? Because why did they take the decision? Because they wanted to save Krishna from all the disturbances. And what we are seeing is the first disturbance already has started in the form of Vatsasura, and many more to follow. So Nanda Maharaj and the other elderly gopas took that decision as a service or as to save Krishna. So their intention was their plan was to safeguard Krishna. But Krishna has his own plans. Krishna has his plans to vinashaya dushkritam. Right? So Krishna's greatness is that he accepted the plan that the Gopas did. We all know the pastime of Govardhan Lila, right? Where Krishna did not allow them to do the puja of Indra. He said, don't do that, do this, do the puja of Govardhan. Here Krishna, though he was small, obviously in his own way he could have refuted that, but he accepted that plan of Nanda Maharaj, Nanda Baba and other Gopas to move as a merciful expression or exchange to them. But at the same time, he has his own plans, because that is what he has come to this earthly planet for. Okay, to destroy the demons. So he continued with his plans, saying in Vrindavan. Now, so this was the calf demon Vatsasura pastime. Once Krishna and Balram and all the Gopas were near a reservoir. Reservoir is a small lake, and they were near the lake, and they wanted to drink. They were thirsty and they wanted to drink water. So they go near to drink water, and they suddenly see this gigantic figure, a white color figure, which was almost resembling like a mountain. And who was that? The crane demon, and he had a long beak. Okay. So when they saw this, they all ran back. But by the time the the demon, the crane demon, already had opened his beak and swallowed Krishna. Swallowed Krishna, and Krishna was down up to his throat. Looking at this, and even Balramji was there at that time. So looking at this, Balramji and the Gopas were bewildered. How can this happen to Krishna? Now, do not discount this to the point that they did not know Krishna has, as of now, killed many demons. He is strong. He is strong. They know that. These are all emotions that they have to Krishna and Krishna. So, from that emotions perspective, they fell unconscious. They were bewildered. They almost fainted. All the Gopas, and even for that matter, Balramji also. Okay. So, very interesting pastime this is. So, Krishna is now been swallowed, and he is down in his throat. Gopas and Balramji have all fainted, almost fainted and unconscious. The demigods are watching this. Demigods had requested Krishna to please, come over here, because they know the intention of what Krishna has come here. They wanted to do their part also. Okay. So one by one, I just say who all came and what they tried to do. Okay. So Indra came with his thunderbolt. He hit the Bakasura demon by thunderbolt. Nothing happened. Okay. Brahmaji used what he has is a Brahma Danda. With the Brahma Danda, he hit Bakasura. Now, at this point, Bakasura is also getting pained and he's also suffering, but he's ultimately a demon. He's not suffering. I mean, he's not dying also. Okay. And they are all expecting, each one is expecting that something happens and he dies and Krishna is saved. So Brahma uses his Brahma Danda. Shiva uses his trident. Okay. Nothing happens. Vayu uses his wind weapon. Nothing happens. He's in turmoil. I mean, the Bakasura is getting hurt and all those things are happening, but he's not dying. He's not letting go. Krishna also. Okay. Surya comes with 100 sharp weapon. Nothing happens. His wings are burned. Bakasura's wings are burned. Nothing happens. Kuvera comes with a sharp sword and cuts off the wings. Nothing happens. Okay. Soma comes with this ice weapon. He freezes, and I think it is mentioned in Garga Samhita for 2 ghatikas. 2 ghatika is, 1 ghatika is 24 minutes, I think. So that is for 48 minutes. This particular Bakasura was frozen for 48 minutes or something, 2 ghatikas. Agni came with his fire weapon, hurled his fire weapon on Bakasura. Kuch nahi hua. Varuna came with the rope and bound him. He broke the rope. Bhadrakali came. This is all mentioned in Garga Samhita. Okay. Bhadrakali came and hurled her mace onto Bakasura. Nothing. He is getting torture, hurt, and everything is happening, but he is not dying. Kartikeya came. Kartikeya on his peacock, he came and used his Shakti weapon. Kuch nahi hua. Finally, this Bakasura, he got up and he drew away these demigods. To that extent, demigod could not, hurt or could not destroy this Bakasura. See how strong he was. Okay. Finally, Krishna, from inside, he started heating up. As he started heating up, Bakasura had no other option but what to spit out or vomit out Krishna. As soon as Krishna came out, Bakasura again started attacking Krishna. But at this point, what Krishna did was, he held both the weak peaks of Bakasura and just broke him into 2 halves. And as soon as he died, a light from Bakasura entered Krishna. Okay. So the Bakasura demon was also destroyed in this way. Bakasura represents duplicity, deceptiveness, and false behavior in the hearts of struggling sadhakas. So we all know, if we have a tinge, mind we all don't have, but if I speak for myself, if I have this, I know that Bakasura demon is there within me. And who's the only one who can save me? Can Indra save me? Can Chandra save me? Can Surya save me? No. It's only Krishna within me can save me. And how? I have to intensify the heat within me. How? By associating with devotees more, by doing my service properly, by reading, by associating with Srimad Bhagavatam. This is how I can intensify the heat within me, which is in the form of Krishna, and kill this demon of deceptiveness, false behavior, and duplicity. I can kill this demon of Bakasura within me. That is the only way we can do. And now for that, we don't have to struggle to remove this. Arey, mere paas bahut duplicity, let me try to remove that. I have a lot of false behavior, let me try to remove that. No. The only thing we have to do is to intensify our devotion. That is the only thing we have to do. We ourselves do not have the capacity to remove all the anarthas. We cannot detach ourselves from these anarthas. We don't have the capacity. We are not empowered. Only thing we have to empower, we are empowered, is to attach to Krishna. That's it. Attachment to Krishna will ensure detachment from this anarthas. That is the only thing that we have to do. And how easy is it to attach to Krishna? And the easiest way to attach to Krishna is by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra loudly. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Now, after all this, in this particular chapter 11, and this is basically chapter 58 in Krishna's book. They all, so as usual, so this was basically a daily routine for the Gopas, for Krishna and Gopas. What they used to do? Subah breakfast kiya, killed one demon, had some lunch, grazed the calves, come back, return home. After returning home, the favorite pastime of the Gopas was to narrate the pastimes of what Krishna did to their parents. I forgot one more thing. While shifting from Gokul Mahavan to Vrindavan, I mean, it's not like, I know the action was taken immediately, but it takes some time to reach from Gokul Mahavan to Vrindavan. I don't know how much time, it is not mentioned. But what do you feel? What do you believe the Gopas and Gopis did while they were traveling from Gokul Mahavan to Vrindavan? What do you feel they would have done? Hearing, looking WhatsApp or hearing to the score, or what would they have done? They were just narrating the pastimes of Krishna, what happened in Gokul Mahavan. This is how, this is the consciousness, this is the mood of Prajapati. Okay. Similarly, the young Gopas also, they used to do that. Morning to evening program khatam, evening program start is Krishna Katha. Okay, so 24 hours it was Krishna Katha only for the Gopas. That was the mood that the Brajavasis had. And lastly, Prabhuji, you can go to text 58 last. This is a very wonderful shloka, a culmination of the entire chapter 11. I would say the entire Bhagavad, the entire pastimes of Krishna, and how Prabhupada very intelligently culminates and gives us the wonderful statement. Okay, so the shloka is Iti Nandadayo Gopaha Krishna Rama Katham Muda Purvanto Ramamanascha Navindam Bhavavedanam. In this way, all the cowherd men, headed by Nanda Maharaj, enjoyed topics about the pastimes of Krishna and Balarama with great transcendental pleasure, and they could not even perceive material tribulations. Every pastime, every shloka, the end is, if you hear Krishna Katha, you will be relieved of your material tribulations. Now, if you read the purport that Srila Prabhupada has given, it is such an amazing purport. Okay, we'll start. We'll quickly, just very small purport, but very strong statements. Here is an instruction about the result or discuss of studying or discussing the Krishna Leelas that appear in Srimad Bhagavatam. And this particular shloka, this purport, is very apt for the Bhadra Purnima that is ongoing. Very apt for that. Okay. Stadhyo hridaya avarudhya atra kritibi sushrushabhi tat kshanat. Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda in Vrindavana appeared like ordinary persons of this material world. But they never felt the tribulations of this world, although they sometimes met many dangerous situations created by the demons. Prabhupada writes, this is a practical example. If we follow in the footsteps of Nanda Maharaj and the Gopas, we can all be happy simply by discussing the activities of Krishna, anarthopashamam sakshat, bhakti yogam adhokshaje, lokasya janato vidvams, chakre satvata samhitam. If we follow in the footsteps of Nanda Maharaj and the Gopas, we can all be happy simply by discussing the activities of Krishna. See, this is also very important. We can all be happy simply. No, we can all be happy simply by discussing the activities of Krishna. Prabhupada further writes, and this is, I'll require your attention here. Very beautiful statement Prabhupada writes. Vyasadeva has given this literature so that everyone may understand one's transcendental position simply by discussing Bhagavad Katha. Vyasadeva has given this literature so that everyone may understand one's transcendental position simply by discussing Bhagavad Katha. Even at the present moment, everyone everywhere can be happy and free from material tribulations by following Srimad Bhagavatam. There is no need for austerities and penances, which in this age are very difficult to perform. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has therefore declared, Sarvatma snapanam param vijay. Sarvatma snapanam param vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. By our Krishna consciousness movement, not by the Krishna consciousness movement. Prabhupada writes, by our Krishna consciousness movement, we are trying to distribute Srimad Bhagavatam so that anyone in any part of the world can be absorbed in the Krishna consciousness movement by chanting and hearing about the activities of Krishna and be free from all material tribulations. Isn't this what Krishna told the Brahmana Patnis also? Sakshat, that shloka 10:23-33 which we read. So here Prabhupada is clearly mentioning, in this Krishna consciousness movement, what we are trying to do is distribute Krishna's glories and the pastimes in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam. And what will be the result of that? Anyone in any part of the world, nowadays we have everything on mobile also. Okay. Anyone, anywhere in any part of the world can be absorbed in the Krishna consciousness movement by chanting and hearing about the activities of Krishna and the result of that. So the two things, only one thing we have to do. As I said earlier, we have to just attach to Krishna by chanting and hearing about the activities of Krishna. The result of that automatically is you be free from all material tribulations. That doesn't mean that sufferings will not be there. So we have that, the statement, right? Suffering is inevitable. That's what, right? The suffering is inevitable and pain is optional. The miseries are inevitable, but suffering is optional. So the choice is with us, whether we want to get disturbed by Again, as I said, disturbances are different for all of us. It is optional for us whether we want to get really disturbed by this. I mean, for me also, in all this journey till now, I have seen many devotees, many senior devotees who have gone through umpteen difficulties, but they kept themselves strong in their sadhana. They kept themselves strong in this Krishna conscious moment. There are many examples like this. Okay. So free from all material tribulations is guaranteed, but the only thing is we have to take up to the chanting and hearing of Srimad Bhagavatam. So just to summarize, and again, one last verse we will take is from chapter 8, canto 1. Who other than Kunti Maharani, who we cannot ask for disturbances. We cannot do that. It just comes on its way. But here it is Kunti Maharani who is asking for tribulation, who is asking for disturbances, troubles, disturbances for what? Vipada Shantu Tashashvat Tatra Tatra Jagat Guru Bhavato Darshanam Yatsyad Apunar Bhavadarshanam. Yeah. Kunti Maharani says, I wish that all those calamities would happen again and again so that we could see you again and again. For seeing you means that we will no longer see repeated births and deaths. We cannot pray for this, but at least we can take this as an example what exalted devotees are yearn for or are eager for. But what we have is, in our case, at least we can take shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam, we can take shelter of our seniors, we can take shelter of our spiritual master, our Shiksha Gurus, and all the disciples who we interact with. Take as much as possible, take shelter, be attached to them. Automatically, the detachment to all those anarthas is guaranteed to happen. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I have my other seva also now announcements. Any comments? Any? You can chastise also, no problem. You can call out the shortfalls also. Please feel free to do that.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you very much for your class. So one question, Prabhuji. How does Bakasura episode represent duplicity? I could not connect duplicity and Bakasura's behavior. So how to understand that?
So yeah. So duplicity, deceptiveness, and false behavior. What is duplicity, Prabhuji? Saying something and doing something. So that is what. So here, while you are asking me that question, I also started thinking, how we can. Anybody has an answer for this? Anybody else has an answer for this? How the question was how how Bakasura demon represents duplicity. Ashoka Prabhu has.
The crane generally, it closes its eyes. There's one leg in the water and one leg in the air. It is like meditate, like Hiranyakashipu on one leg. And it is also allowing small fishes to pass by. So the big fish becomes very confident. Oh, he's a sadhu. And when it comes, it grabs it. So this is a duplicitous behavior, cunning behavior.
You have the answer, Prabhu. To take shelter of seniors, that's better. Deceptiveness, I can give one example of deceptiveness. There is, in nature also, there is one bird who will, take a small mosquito, some insect and put it in the water. There's a deception for the other fish to come and grab it. So similar, not like a crane, but there is in nature also we have that. So that deceptiveness is also there. And in deceptiveness, we have seen many people putting all different garbs and disguises to show that sadhu hai, but then appearances are deceptive, for example. So yes, so that is also one other explanation for deceptiveness. Thank you, Prabhu. I think we'll end here then. Granthashram Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Vaishnava Vrinde.
Hare Krishna. It was a nectarian class hearing from Sri Balaji Prabhu. Let us express our gratitude by chanting Hare Krishna mantra once. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama.
Hare Krishna. So let us also chant for His Grace Prasanatma Balram Prabhu, who had given the Kannada, I think the Kannada class is over. Okay, so we are over, or so we'll also chant once Hare Krishna Mahamantra for His Grace Prasanatma Balram Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We have Veerabhadra Nityananda Prabhu. We have Prabhuji here. Prabhuji says, so Prabhuji has sponsored the Sunday feast today, and the occasion is Prabhu's father's remembrance. It's been 4 years. It was on 12th August, right, Prabhuji? Prabhuji is requesting prayers from the August Assembly here for the departed soul to get to progress and elevate further and get the shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord. So let us all once chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra for the departed soul. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So since Janmashtami is here, and so before that we have Balram Jayanti, that is tomorrow. You would have seen the WhatsApp. In the WhatsApp, it is an evening program. We'll start around, I think we start around 5 p.m. till 7 p.m. 7 p.m. There is a katha also. So please, and it is half day fasting also tomorrow. Now, post that, 26th August is Janmashtami. And how many of you have, as of now, have any services? Anybody who has already got services? Anjan Prabhu's half raised his hand. So Venkatramana Prabhu has, Gokul Chandra Prabhu also has. There are a few other devotees also who have already has services. So those of you are still, I see we don't have the congregation enough. So those, there will be a Google form will be published in the WhatsApp group. I think it is already published by Prabhuji. So the reason Google form is done because we have almost a week now. So those who want to participate in service, I hope many of would have taken some holidays and stuff. So those who want to participate in service, this is the occasion. Please give your names. Services are there. There is no dearth of services. So please use that Google form. If you have seen that, if you have some of your, if other devotees who have not seen, please tell them. Ensure that this Google form is updated so that we can allocate services to you. So we have, you can also reach out to Rukmini Rangakrishna Prabhu or Sundarup Sham Prabhu. So if you're not able to access that Google form, or if you do not know how to submit that Google form, please reach out to these devotees, Rukmini Rangakrishna Prabhu and Sundarup Sham Prabhu, so that they can also benefit from the they can allocate you services. We'll do this announcement below also in Kannada, so that others also can benefit. Yeah, and there is a beautiful collage that has been published about the upcoming festivals, like a calendar. This is put in the WhatsApp group also. So all this calendar in form of a collage speaks about the upcoming festivals. I think we all can assemble.
One more announcement. Nitya Seva donors who have not collected their certificates, please come and collect from His Grace Prasadeshwar Prabhu or Sudha Mataji in the finance team. Nitya Seva donors, ಯಾರು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸರ್ಟಿಫಿಕೇಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ವೋ ಅಂತವರು ಪ್ರಸಾದೇಶ್ವರ್ ಪ್ರಭು ಅಥವಾ ಸುಧಾ ಮಾತಾಜಿಯಿಂದ ಫೈನಾನ್ಸ್ ಟೀಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಅಂತ ವಿನಂತಿ. ಹರೇ ಕೃಷ್ಣ.
And this Janmashtami, we have some additional programs also. Janmashtami is 26, so we have programs starting from 23rd, 24th, and 25th. 23rd and 25th are cultural programs that are starting from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. On 24th, we have a boat festival. And this boat festival will be in Devarkere Lake near to Isro Layout, in Isro Layout. So we'll have the DTs going over there from 4 to 7. 4 to 7. 4 p.m. onwards we'll start till 7 p.m. So the Lord will go in Palki. The Lord will go in Palki towards the Devarkere Lake in near Isro Layout. So we all can probably join the Lord and take him to the place where the boat festival happen. I think we should do this announcement below also. We will do that below also. So please make a note of this particular program that is coming up. Thank you. Hare Krishna. We'll all assemble downstairs and do some announcements quickly again.
Additionally, thank you so much. Now in the class. Here will be tomorrow at 7:15.